In order to tackle global issues, the focus has to start at the local level. To encourage and influence students to be part of the change they want to see in the world, Rutland High School held its second annual Global Issues Network Conference last week. In addition to all-day classes and workshops, students got their hands dirty volunteering in the community, and after the conference let out for the day, united with community members in solidarity. Hundreds of students from Rutland High and attending schools from across the state of Vermont filled the gymnasium Thursday, kicking off the 2015 Vermont Global Issues Network Conference. Rutland's talented choir kicked off the morning with some sweet sounds. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from loving you. That song's message may have been the perfect way to jumpstart a day of learning, to encourage students to reach high, ask questions, and be leaders. Representatives from Vermont's congressional delegation joined students for the day to learn firsthand what issues matter most to Vermont's future generation. From there, keynote speaker Catherine Bloom, a climate activist, took the microphone hoping to inspire students to keep open minds and be passionate about issues important to them.
The revolution is within you, so go forth and be great.
Students helping organize the event say they hope everyone gets inspired.
Today, I hope that they get out of the conference that they can change the world and that it's important to take action.
Erica Wallstrom, a science teacher at Rutland, has spent the past year as a fellow working with the National Science Foundation in Washington, D.C. Through a year away, she's traveled to Greenland, the South Pole, and Antarctica. She was one of the morning presenters, on hand to account what life is like in polar regions of the world.
In the Greenland shot, there's actually, some vegetation that's really noticeable. There's a single road, granted it's a dirt road, and it's like the only one that's in Greenland. It's the longest one, it's like 20 miles long. But there is a road, and there are people there, whereas Antarctica is a very unique environment in that there's no one country that owns it. It's a combination of many nations that have promised to take care of it and to study it and to research it, but no one can claim it as like, this is our land and our nation.
In addition to photographs, students passed around a rubber boot Erica wore at the South Pole and watched as a student suited up in the outerwear she wore during the expedition.
How are you feeling? She's got a little exposed skin, but we won't go too crazy. Do you feel like you're very versatile? You could move around, flexible?
I feel like a Yeti.
A Yeti.
Other workshops featured discussions on farming, sustainability, climate change, and renewable energy. The Theater of Oppression workshop brought the global issue of bullying into the forefront, with students freezing a moment in time, showing the bully, victim, and the bystanders.
Remember, your face is going to communicate something too, so be aware of that as well.
Earlier this year, Rutland High stood up against cyberbullying, forcing the takedown of the after-school app.
It's very important to start at a local level because as a singular person, that's all you can do, and then hopefully it has a concentric effect where it moves outward throughout the country.
The morning activities wrapped up with a global STEM fair and lunch featuring international cuisine, and a chance to soak up the sounds of Rutland's Chamber a cappella choir. Carry on we will. Here's PEG TV's Amber Dumas with a glimpse at the service learning portion of the day.
Across the Rutland area, from Stafford Solar Hill to downtown Rutland, students took on global issues with a hands-on approach. Rutland High School students toured the array of over 7,000 panels here at the Stafford Solar Hill project.
I hope that the students actually have a good understanding of the benefit and value of a solar array, and also what we're doing here with the battery backup to actually be able to island Stafford Tech, which is an emergency shelter, as well as to be able to produce consistent power out of the solar array.
Students put on their hard hats, vests, and began the tour through Stafford Solar Hill. They learned the ins and outs of solar energy and why this solar array was awarded the 2015 Project of Distinction.
We learned that these solar panels are going to be able to power Stafford Technical Center if it's ever going to be needed for a shelter or anything like that, which was pretty neat.
Previously, the land served no purpose for the city. Now, it generates energy and revenue.
I think the kids really enjoyed it, and it was great to give them an understanding of the difference between DC, direct current, and AC, alternate current power, which seemed like they were a little stumped with that earlier, and which now they understand that the solar array actually puts out DC power, and we have to convert it to AC power, which actually produces power to their homes.
Just down the road, another group of students is working alongside Downtown Rutland Partnership to green up downtown.
So what we're doing right now is we're doing some cleanup along what's referred to as the Spruce Street path. It's behind Walmart and Price Chopper. And it's an area where a lot of folks walk along to get to the shopping center in downtown. And we've had a hard winter. There's a lot of garbage that's strewn about, and so the students are helping go through and pick up a lot of that.
Although green up efforts don't usually start until May, this group of students volunteered to help clean up downtown with Mike Coppinger.
This is the second year that we've had students from Rutland High School who are partaking in the GYN program that elected to do some activities off campus come and do some work in the downtown. This is kind of like a jump start to our Green Up Day efforts, which will happen in May.
Students were eager to help out, cleaning up both the Spruce Street path and the Depot Park.
Well, it gets us outdoors and kind of doing some hands-on stuff and helping the community, not just sitting in a classroom all day.
I did it last year, and you know, it's always good to help with the city and like pick up stuff, so I don't know. I just did it to be helpful.
These students prove that solving global issues starts at home. By visiting Stafford Solar Hill and the green up efforts in downtown Rutland, students across Rutland took a hands-on approach to global issues.
High school students, presenters, and the public gathered in Main Street Park after school let out to unite as one. The walk was created as a way to get the public engaged with students from the Global Issues Network Conference.
The only way we're going to solve these problems, I think, is if we work together. And I've been involved in a fair amount of community activities, and you know, the more the merrier. You know, it just spreads the work around, and you know, you just have a lot of different ways of looking at things. It really makes a difference when people get together, and it seems like they were talking today when the kids that went out to do field work, when they came back, they realized just how great it was to be working together and doing things.
Young kids took part too, wanting their voices to be heard, like third grade student Amaya Spalding.
Because I wanted to represent our Earth.
Armed with flags and posters, dozens hit the street, walking to the Paramount Theater, where the day wrapped up with a screening of the film Disruption. All in all, the Second Vermont Global Issues Network Conference was a huge success, one organizers hope they can build on for next year.